And Simeon, let's pick up right there. I mean, obviously, it's a sort of sporting good brand. It's not a brick and mortar retailer so much, and maybe some unique properties there. But what do you intend to hear from the companies we're going to hear from soon?
Not mid to high teens revenue growth.
Yeah, right.
So there are some companies that are doing it, but I think going back to Diana's point about consumer confidence, I think we have to acknowledge consumer confidence and consumer spending are not the same thing at all. This is going to be a good quarter. We're seeing it. It's generally a good quarter. The question was never Q1. The question was guidance. The question was tariffs. The question was uncertainty. And now, right now, the last couple weeks feel a lot better than they did before that from Liberation Day. And so I think right now, a lot of companies thought they were going to be telling us nothing. And now, all of a sudden, they're able to talk a little bit better.
They're going to be able to talk better even though this is still this kind of limbo period when we still don't have a final answer?
So the beauty of better is it's a relative term.
Yeah, right.
And so better is better than nothing. Like companies were with most companies, the default was going to be withdraw guidance. Why talk about the full year? Now there's actually some things to talk about. And so I think right now you may not get away. Like it may actually be a tougher scenario because you might not get the excuse of talking about nothing.
Sure.
And so now you have to operate within the framework we have with tariffs. But I think what it does is it forces companies to not get sucked into the macro and actually talk about who's a good operator. Like again, Amer just put up an excellent result. Birkenstock, similar mid to high teens. Yesterday, Bath & Body Works told us that they're changing the management, but they actually are seeing growth for the first time in a while. And so I think we're going to see businesses be able to talk with obviously some level of caution, but talk about a Q1 that was better and maybe a little bit more visibility.
Among some of the companies, I mean, we're going to hear, I said, from TJX tomorrow, for example, and then, Target, Broadlines. Within that weak consumer confidence, but still steady consumer spending, who's doing better or worse?
So the fascinating thing is you and I always love to talk about stocks versus companies. TJX, excellent company. It's expensive. It's expensive for a reason. And so that's a conversation you and I have had forever. I think right now you're going to watch, listen, in a tough environment, TJ wins no matter what. In a good environment, do they just keep compounding and taking that share? So again, looking for a better than feared type of a quarter right now, and they're going to be on the other side of the spectrum of is good scenario, is better macro, good or bad for them? Longer term, this company, I think they compound. I think they keep taking share. I think some of the others, like you're also going to get a VF, which we didn't talk about, which was viewed as more of the dirty or the problematic ones. And there's a lot of them across the mall. And so I think what's going to be interesting is now that retail is actually catching a bid. Some of these companies, these stocks, are at their highs.
Yeah.
Some of them are up year to date. I mean, that's wild.
It is.
And so that's this dynamic of investors looking at stocks versus companies.
With regard to VF or that subcategory, was there anything to be made today of the Levi's agreement to sell Dockers to authentic brands? I mean, whether it's about where apparel is right now or the rise and fall of, a once dominant brand.
Or the rise of Jamie. No, I think like you're watching this authentic brand empire grab more and more, but I think there's two pieces there. I think what you're seeing is Levi's say, what should I have? Like there's this Dick's Foot Locker, Capri Tapestry, Levi's spinning off. You're watching a lot of M&A in different directions. Some work, some don't.
Yeah.
And there's this question of, is it better to empire build and be very large? Is it better to focus on what makes you great? I think it always is better to focus on what makes you great. If you can make that bigger, then go for that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be case by case, company specific. Levi's right now is telling you, here's where we want to focus our story.
The Nike move, obviously, massive relief on China, the backing off of max tariffs, but where does that leave it?
So the beauty of Nike is Nike's stock came down a lot, its valuation did not.
Yeah.
And so you watch this where the numbers, people like effectively built in a lot of fear because no matter where the tariffs are in whatever region, Nike produces there. I think Elliott still has to earn those stripes. Elliott still has to earn everyone's credit. Once he gets that credibility, there's an army of people that want to buy into Nike. But the idea of let me give you credit, whether it's Nike, Starbucks, whatever the turn is,
sure,
the permission, the leash for a turn has gotten shorter.